but we will be getting into draft here in just one moment.
Love drafting. Let me see that 7. Are they a 7 kind of team? If they're a 7 kind of team, I'm about it.
And Rock has been...
I was speaking psychically in the voice of Rock Monkey there. getting that going.
Rock's puppeteer.
Yes, I'm pulling all the strings.
Pulling all the strings. We're on Jag Falls. So we've been seeing a lot of like aggressive stuff coming up, and okay, we're gonna get right away. No
bans. No, it's broken.
No bans from spectators. So we got 2 mystery heroes that are banned. Instant pick on tanks from Crimes Against Humanity.
Realistically, I'm going to be real with you. We're probably catching up. I have a feeling these were not instant picks. I think we are a little behind, and we are chugging along to catch back up. I will let you know, Crimes of Humanity is an EU team. It is a Russian team that has players, including one that I can read Cyrillic, but I can't speak Russian. I remember when I saw Super Zvezda, which I think just means superstar, in a game. I'm like, I can read this. Oh, it's my one edge I have over everyone else right now. But Russian team versus Goats, which is
North American. That's gonna be Penguin, Yato Akata. Shoddy. I don't know if I can. This is Mage Monkey, Ballenberry, and Flame Effects. So listen, man, I can't read Russian and I can't speak Russian, so I'm not gonna try.
It's fine. I'll do my best during the game, but I feel like we're not really seeing a lot of damage picks coming out here. Like, we're seeing a lot of flankers almost being forced in a lot of situations, but here we're seeing a Willow and a Vivian coming out from Crime to Humanity. It is Jag Falls. It is a place where they kind of have, there's cover they can kind of kite to, but and there's not a lot of burst mobility from these tanks either. It's, Makoa has his slide at most, Azan has his dash, but it's short range. It's nothing like Rom level or Ash level to really cross that gap to get onto them. Do you think it's a decent pick here, or do you think they might just get choked out by the pressure from Lex and Caspian?
I think there's a lot of pressure being put on the Goats CPS this game, but I think the Goats, I think they're good at that. Like, listen, it's a first pick Lex. It is a first pick Lex in this meta. Like, you don't see that unless your Lex player is Yato Acosta. Because they don't care if you're first picking it. You don't care what matchups you have. You say, we're gonna put this man on the Lex. You're gonna pick a Rom. You're gonna pick Dombo. You're gonna have some decent peel. Someone's gonna need to get Wrecker eventually. Which, I mean, they're not really seeing great Wreckers on the blue team side. I think it might be an issue. I think this game is gonna be decided in Crimes' backline, but I think Goats are 100% fine with going into that backline.
Has the Lex Rom matchup changed at all since the last time I played Paladins? Because I feel like insta slamming a Rom into Lex is not something I would have done in 2021.
Maybe not, but
okay. I just want to know how much has the meta shifted in that they're like, oh my god. I mean, Rom is insane. Obviously, we've seen success with it, but like, it does not seem like a pick I would be happy to play into if I was rocking that Rom.
No, it's maybe decent matchups tank wise, right? Because you can shatter. You can ult the Koa shield, and that doesn't proc barrier reef, so you essentially just get, hey, your ability's actually going on cooldown now. But the rest of it, like, the Azan's fine. The Azan's fine as a matchup. But Caspian and, this is going to be a tough Rom game. If they can pull it off, if they can set up, if, like, the Rom can bodyguard, basically, for, like, listen, Willow Vivian are some of the harder backlines. This is a lot of damage coming out. But a Corvus might struggle to heal up, by the way. But if they can actually set up those backliners with the peel that they have on their team, I think they're looking pretty good. It feels like listen, look at the comps that we haven't been seeing. These teams are playing aggressive. They think that playing aggressive is the way to go. So it's interesting to see a team come out and just say, we're picking the main tank and we're picking 2 backliners, actually.
And they have the ROM to still disrupt. But I will say, you're talking about aggression. What do you think that they was banned that you're not seeing here in the 10 that are
Ruckus? It's just
okay,
Ruckus.
Of course, yeah. Ruckus. Well, that can't just be Ruckus because there's 5 other bans.
No, I know.
We saw Vatsu in the ban column a little bit. Do you think that might be something that they were trying to take out? But it's Jag. I feel like he doesn't have a lot of places to necessarily kite as easily.
Fine.
On mid, I feel like it's fine on mid, and then I feel like once you get to like that, as soon as you break that the first choke coming out into the open field, I feel like you crossing to like face or secret is just not fun. I can't imagine it would feel good.
I don't even know what goats would want different. Like, I mean, okay, obviously, cool. Let's take the Ruckus if he's open, but that's probably gone first ban rotation. But like, just looking at this draft, right? Like, what else do you want? Like, maybe a Furia, right? But like, even then, you got a core of Mark Furia Lex. The Koa's, I mean, obviously they wanted the Koa. They picked it second rotation. What else do you like? I don't even know what would have been banned because like, it feels like Ghost got everything that they wanted, and I'm just like looking at the other teams like, like. Where did Vivian come from? She just like. So we're hearing Vatu, BK, and Ash. So BK makes a lot of sense actually.
That means Vatu was the first ban because if that's what Nada sees, because that's what Nada sees. Surprise. That means Goats first ban Vatu, Crimes Humanity first ban BK, and then Ash second ban Goats. We don't know what the rest of the 3 bans were, but interesting getting rid of Ash. I feel like I've heard people. I mean, she's good on the big maps. This is Jag. There's good places for her to ult, right? She can still, slam her head on any of the inside areas to get quick ults, and surviving in the backline is strong. But I feel like other off tanks are just higher priority.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely a little funky. If it's banned by Goats. If that was that is funky, I mean, it does decent into the Lex, maybe. Like, it's. I'm trying to think of a reason, man. Like the BK I can get behind because BK on Jag.
Yeah, no, I did it at the Hi-Res studio when it was the Skillshot studio. There we go. There's the stats. So yeah, Crime to Humanity won. Mage Monkey had a really tough time there.
Right.
It seemed like Yano did the most damage, but they just couldn't kill anyone on their side.
Combined 5 deaths from the backline, and I mean, that's not an insanely high amount. That's not what you look for. But yeah, I feel like, I mean, just look at that Koa stat line. They found a way to beat up the tanks. They beat up the tank. They beat up the tank real hard.
Do you think? I was gonna say maybe Mage just walks to point. Look at how much, but he didn't.
He didn't,
like, at all. Actually, a lot of contesting going on. It looks like they just cycled point. They must have just done the rotation thing that we talked about. You can see.
Right.
Yeah, the backlines not really getting pressured too much, and then they just capped and forced Makoa in when Makoa went in. It's not really gonna do much against Vivian and Willow.
That's tough, man. That's really tough, but found a way.
All right. It is tough. We'll see what happens in the next game.
I expect Nada to bully me if I say a hack word. So,
I'm not sure if he would be able to.
So, what's this?
What's this? It's a draft.
This is a draft.
I liked my font better. That's all I'm saying.
I think your font was very creative.
Thank you. It was Joker Man.
Joker Man?
Joker Man, that's the name of it.
Maybe we should bring that back. Okay, hey, we're getting maybe more of an insight into what we saw band-wise from last game. So, I mean, there's your console flank that was gone. So maybe that's more of a hint towards the Lux first pick because they didn't want to let it through. But a lot of divey stuff being banned by Goats, which is weird considering they basically drafted double backline last game.
We have. I can't even tell who that is. Bottom right, is that Koga? The second ban. It's his animated picture, so I couldn't really tell. But Koga Vatu, I mean, 3 flanks and a Tyra, no supports, no tanks banned. So Ruckus immediately swept up, and it's Serpent Beach.
It is Serpent Beach. Look at Ruckus map. But hey, I think I've seen that before from Crimes. I think they like this. So Goats now, they've played against it. They lost against it. They're seeing it again. Their adaptation is go faster by the looks of it. I like it. They didn't have to ban Lex this time because I feel like Serpent Beach for Lex. Yeah.
Definitely not as good as Jag. You're not first picking Lex on Serpent Beach.
Oh, but like, oh no. Our console players on Androxus now? Oh, we lose. Like, no. So.
I thought you were being serious. I was actually
no. Oh my god.
Concerned.
Never. So I think Goats they're adapting. They're setting up a draft for Serpent Beach as well. So I think for Crimes, it's like Vivian Willow, right? Vivian Willow. Are we going for that same sort of your tanks are going to suffer again. Is Mage Monkey going to quit Paladins after this game? We'll see. But we're also going to get a chance to like see what third bans they go for, and Mage Monkey is going to be quitting No, Mage Monkey's not going to be quitting Paladins. He has something with less than 3,000 HP to kill. So,
would Mage be on the Ruckus? Would Mage be on the Ruckus, or would it be Flame?
I think they're leaving this open at this point. You could definitely go for double off tank again, but like, what are you going to pick that's going, like, assuming again that Vivian was a controller, what are you going to pick to mirror the Fernando? Like, you could go Azan. I know Goats is a pretty big fan of the Azan, and it's looking like a better option with the other aggressive off tank of Ashe being banned out, Rom being taken away. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Azan here. I know that Mage has been grinding the Azan.
Verticality too on Azan as well. Like just the little bit of the vertical dash, you can actually take high and kind of contest it for a while if needed. And I think the Furia burst, if you get both your tanks on high ground, plus then just speed them in, just clear that straight both ways, could be an effective way to take when I know that this is a tough point to push all the way. This was when I played actively. This was one of my least favorites.
I like the mid fight. The push can be.
No, yeah, the push was the problem. The mid fights are fine.
Yeah, but I don't think either of these teams are drafting super hard for the push. I think you're looking at the mid fight, and we're gonna see Caspian as the third ban.
Okay,
which is, I think, makes sense. I mean, they picked it last game. They obviously liked it. I guess it did something. It's good into the Rom. It's good into the Nando. Really, I mean, actually, no, it's Goats banning it out, though. That was very interesting.
Yeah, the Caspian there, they didn't pick any DPS, so they're just thinking probably let's ban the best DPS we can think. Either way, we don't need to talk about that anymore. The podcast is over. We are heading into game. Wish these teams had titles. But it's totally fine. We have red team is Crime to Humanity, blue team is Goats. And Willow again. I mean, she's back. That's it. I'm saying it. She's back. No.
It's set.
It's been one game. She's back, right? She was,
Sure.
She wasn't back a game ago. It is Street Chuck. I mean, I guess Ruckus is on. That kind of tracks.
Sure. It's a little scary. And right away, Crimes is going to force the objective, looks like, just like they were doing last game. Now it gets forced out a lot earlier this time. But the Rom is running down. Furia goes down right away, though. Traded out by Pai, so support for support, basically. Ruckus in the backline is going to fall over. 3v4 for Goats. Tap time for Crimes, and they are going to have to play slow, but they're not playing slow for anything. Dive onto Shaw, it's going to work out. And they're controlling high ground, but Crimes have all the objective space.
Yeah, Nando still has he can escape to Dial right now. He has that area to kite here, but he's now starting to get pincered with Mage Monkey coming around the back, just ignoring the Nando, looking to split right onto this Damba, really the only target they can go for, but there's so much peel, so much damage, getting away with just 800 HP remaining. Flame trying to lock it down, but they just can't get healed up fast enough. The Damba is kiting, cannot stop to heal everyone back up, and right away, Crime to Humanity is back on the objective.
They're just gonna have to touch them. They're gonna have someone's touching, please. Thank you. Okay, good stuff. Nando is gonna get forced out. The dive onto the Willow is not really gonna work out. She's 1 HP, is gonna fall over. So a bit of a feed there. The beam onto the Ruckus. He's gonna stabilize. The Furia is doing her damn best to keep this team alive. Look at their health bars. This is so stressful. The dive from both of the flanks coming in. Penguin up in the air. Ruckus goes in as well. They're all on the back line. Rama is gonna fall over, and Willow keeps going. Finally, Goats on the objective a little bit. But they still have a decent ways to go. They're all still low, but they will have Furia for this retake that Crimes is going to have to scrape together from the players they have alive.
They have Mayvolt to get in here, and they're going to have Damba ult soon. The Dread Serpent maybe slows it down, but knocked away as the Nando shredded to a million little pieces. They just desperately try to get in the fear. Will make some space, but the overtime is ticking down for Goats with Rom coming in. No way to block any more damage. They have him completely surrounded, and it looks like Goats turn it around with the picks that they were maybe not thinking were going to be very good at the start of this set.
That was insane. That was such a good dash from us. Flame on the Azan. Just blow up the Nando. Like, that was the only reason that fight was close, was because the Nando only just evaporated him on the retake. It was actually really good, but they're already taking high ground as well. Not too much left in the tank to keep this push going, but I mean, already having high ground test on certain beaches, I mean, it's pretty much crucial.
You can see them all kiting around the bottom right side. They're anchoring there until they find some space here, but a good force out up top from Rom and Maeve is going to be enough to catch out Yato. And they're in this one area up top, and no one on Goats can really risk contesting the cart. Nanda will delay them long enough, and Damba healing just enough to keep them alive. They're just putting a lot of healing into this one choke point and trying to force their way through, and eventually they force through enough to find a pick with Mage kiting away with the rest of his team. They're able to stabilize and get a lot of charge for ults. They could honestly spend some in the next fight, and they'll probably be coming just around to it again by the time we get to the next mid.
Right, and I mean, that's definitely something you probably want to look to do early. Like, I mean, just give it a go. Like, honestly, that last attempt, you know, you're trying to shove 4 people through a tiny doorway. You know, it's difficult. It's difficult. But maybe they'll try to find something else. The Fury ult, and we do get an off angle, but the Maeve ult immediately to counter out. Yato is going around. No one else really on the high ground. The Will ult as well. This is what won the first mid fight, and it will result in a pick on the Nando. Yato's just soft contesting high ground. They're moving point all the while, but that is a lot of ult spent. They might look for more. Yato going around. Still moving the cart all the while. Rom getting blown up. Both the DPS from Goats contributing to that. Cart still moving. Super awkward from Crimes now. They're contesting high ground. Bill getting poked out a little bit. Fear comes out. No one's died yet. They're all so low, but eventually does get traded out. Now it is still on the push, so we do have better respawns for Red Team and Damba. They are still high ground, but they finally have to contest. There's a ruckus on the point. Damba gets forced out, and Yato's going to get the pick on that. Rom running away basically because of the pressure that these tanks are exerting. The huge Furious stun is going to kill one, but like it's the respawns from Red Team. They're not spending any ult, but Yato is running train on the backline, forces them out. It's just the tanks alive, and they are going to get shredded eventually. The DPS from Goats are carrying this fight with the dives on the high ground. Yeah, 100%. I think, with pressure constantly made it so they couldn't necessarily drop and contest right away, just basically hopping up, hopping back down. They could not look at the cart. They took a lot of pressure early, and then I think the biggest thing was Yato coming in dead center, finding the Damba. Only death that Toby has this entire game, but it was a monumental pick in denying them a chance to really reset and come back. Super Zvezda having a very difficult game here, 0-5. Just trying to stack up on that Haven, but it's just not working for him yet. Maybe as we get a little... I was going to say maybe they get further, Caught comes online, but that just makes it even harder for Rom, honestly. Yeah, I think going down 2-0 when like you have the better early game comp is going to be really tough, and Goats did manage to actually build most of their ults back, so they have some fairly early go buttons. You might want to see them wait until Willow ult comes up. But in the meantime, we're just going to start as we always have, as is tradition, forcing the objective, but the dive on the high ground right away.
Yeah, immediately coming in, Azan ult, they're staying alive for now, but just too much damage for them to push through here. Resetting back to point and saying, if we're going to lose this fight, we're going to take advantage of this comeback mechanic, get as much percent as we can. We know we're going to feed them ults anyway, so dying on point is crime against humanity, but 27% with comeback, if they win a decent fight, that could be enough to deny their next chance to re-enter here. But they have to wait for their respawns now, and already dismounted is Fiesca up top on the Maeve.
Right, and you are going to be retaking into Furial. Like, you still have this fight to win. You are still going to have to get touched, and you're fighting with Furial, but this flank duel. The Furial does come out. Yato beating some shots, doesn't quite get it. The heals from the Rom come in, but already the Ruckus dive from Mage and Penguin collapse on the backline. It's going to get 2. Yato collapses in on the flank, on the main tank as well. And that is significantly cleaner from Goats. Their ults are online, and they're cycling them super well. And already they're setting up on this high ground that they struggled so much to take in the last fight.
That dive from the Azan Furia is just, I mean, blink and you're dead. The immediate map crossing ability from them was fantastic there. And now Mayvault being used to just kind of dissuade some of this pressure, to not make them want to come in and continue to push them back here. They really need to start splitting the way they approach, and coming in so late. Super Zvezda already so low, likely going to fall right now. One Pixel Flame finally gets the kill as the Hexafire was there to punish anyone who tried to back up and get him. That's 3 on the back of the damage from Mage Monkey. Now the rest of them gonna go in and try to chase. One staggered kill would be monumental here, but they're not gonna be able to get it.
So close, but I mean, that's the hardest part of the map. That's the hardest part of the map done. And I mean, look at these ults that they cycled so well on the mid fight. They are coming up again. And you're looking for fear, you're looking for something, but the Crimes, I mean, they're kind of just deathballing here. Gonna force out Mage, will get the kill. Cart is actually finally being contested this time. The Maeve 1 HP dashes out, will be fine. So it looks like Crimes is going to stabilize here. Yato is, of course, going to get his one, as he always does. but it will be a reset here.
Yeah, disengaging is Penguin waiting for their chance to come back in, but I want to see I think they just need to go get out of this choke. This spot, I know it's like one of the best on the map, but I don't think it is when there's a Willow on the other team. I'm starting to think that it might be tough to push when you're dead zoned and seedlinged and everything is waiting there for you. Yeah, the Fury ult might be what they need to open the door with Mage Monkey coming in from below, but not able to find the Shaw during the heat haze. He's just going to be able to kite away. But Yano is the one really finding the picks on the other side of the map still. Matvej able to trade with Furia. That's the healing gone. If this fight goes long, that can make it a lot harder for them, but it looks like Peyton maybe trying to go contest a little early and buy time for the spawn. Super Zvezda's there. They have a pincer, but one of them has to go and contest cart, and it looks like it might be the Nando fairly late, but a disengage is coming in. They're going to reset and maybe come back with this Zon ult or this Andrew ult as well.
No one's on high ground for Crimes this time, so you do see Yado walk up. It's only Matvej trying to contest it, and Yado has a free line to the backline once again, but it's the Nando who falls over first. Yado forces out the Maeve on high ground as well. He's 100 HP. Somebody kill this man, please. He's winning the game for them. They know who the target is. They know who it is. Penguin tries to come up and help, but it is not in time. Does end up getting a kill. We are in overtime now, but we're losing players on both sides. Peek me, Penguin, is something I know all too well, but he does peek. The heal's caught it, and I mean, there's just not enough people alive. The high ground control from Crimes, it's really difficult, and I mean, the Domba's having a tough game of it. Hold up, I mean, it's a DPS line.
It's ROM. It's no 1v2 right? ROM. I mean, they're coming back with a Zon now, but I feel like the spawns are just too close. I get why you think it could have been possible, because it absolutely felt like it, but Furia is coming back. ROM has ults.
They have ults.
I'm not sure if they want to spend here, though. The spawns are just better. You can see the Nando now diving into the backline. ROM, they're not killing him. They don't have any damage here at all. ROM goes down in the overtime. It just takes a little too long. It looked possible, but I'm glad that they did not pull the trigger on Goats. They didn't buy it.
They didn't. At that point, I think you're just hoping you can force out as many ults as possible. Crimes didn't. So they're going into this fight, and we have maybe this is going to be the best possible fight for Crimes, because at this point, Goats are going to have their ults. You're going to have to deal with that. But you have comeback mechanic. It's still early, so your Nando shield is going to exist. Like, there's a wrecker on Andrew. That's it. Like, the Willow doesn't even have wrecker. This Nando shield is going to be surviving for a long time. Your healing is going to be the most effective that it's ever going to be. So, like, what you're looking for is, like, this Nando ult, this Domba. Like, Domba's been having such a tough time. You got to keep your backline alive, and hopefully responding with your own ult is the way you're going to do it.
The Shaw's the one that's really strong. I mean, 9 deaths. I think maybe you just played do you just immort Shaw when they dive him? Because he is the primary target. They're surrounding them early. Here comes Ruckus. This could be one of the biggest Hexifiers we've seen, but the Immortal, really well timed. It's going to force him to not be able to engage, and they trade out for Yado. With Andro down, they'll pop the heat haze. They'll look for this Ruckus, but no cripple will be long enough to keep him from maybe getting away. The chip damage from Maeve will do it. They're going to be forced to disengage. These last two players, the Sazan and the Spheria, have to survive. If they do not make it out here, I don't think they have a recontest with the comeback.
They're on the ROM. The ult comes out. Looks like it misses. Yado is still in the backline. Just a bit of stabilizing, but someone has to touch eventually from Crimes. It will be the Ruckus, and they did get a trade. This aggressive high ground hold is not working out for the Shaw. 1 HP and Invis. The Maeve also low. Penguin farming them from the high ground. Forces out the Domba. No Sliver is going to get free this fight. Actually insane. They clear out that high ground so well. I don't know how Flame Effects is alive.
Oh, the staggers are going to really do it in for them. I mean, Super Zvezda was the one who really overextended there. I think way too up front. Now, no dash. He used it to run away. Timer ticking down, 87%. They're walled off. Nando able to get around. Will just barely make it on, even through the Azon lift, but he's going to go down for it. Still, it might be a 1-to-1 trade. Ruckus is fairly low, but the Fury Boost is going to put so much damage in this fight as Flame picks up two. Both tanks down. Shaw has to touch. He was definitely on the point, but I think it was kind of a foregone conclusion anyway. Goats are going to tie this right back up, and I'm invisible. Okay, I'm back.
There we go. We're back. You know who else is back? Goats is back. That is, like, as clean as a recovery as you can ask for. Like, I think they just liked the Willow. They saw, you know what, this double flank nonsense Caspian is too new for Penguin. Penguin's a boomer at this point. So he says, you know what, give me the Willow. I'll kill 2 last mid-fight. We're going to go back to what we know. We're not going to make Mage suffer on the Koa anymore. I mean, and listen, like, he went in, he did well. I don't think it looked as flashy because it was the DPS following up, but, like, the tank line the amount of pressure that Goats had. God, I would not want to be that Domba. I would not want to be that backline. That looked like such a.
I wouldn't want to be
line.
that Shaw, dude. I mean, Moped was doing the best that he could, but my God, he was.
I mean, he did pretty well. Like that last
farmed.
mid, he lived. They won off. They won the initial fight. They won the initial fight with comeback mechanic, while capping, and the retake was just that good from Goats. Like the ult to live from the Azan. Like if he doesn't get that off, the Rom gets that kill. Like that retake is just done for. We're talking about how Crimes is pushing right now, but like that, the dives, man, the dives are so good. And honestly, I think that's where you look to adapt for what's gonna be game 3, if I'm right, of this best of 3. So I don't know. I think it's really interesting because I think both teams have kind of shown their hand at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
here's the thing:
this is
Willow ban. Willow ban, perhaps.
Oh man, I don't know if it's the Willow though. Like I feel like
it's not. It's not. But it would be funny.
It would be very funny. I'd love to see Willow again. But I think you're looking more at the tanks because like it's the Nando forcing the objective. It's like Azan Ruckus in the backline. It's the Rom who's just doing his damn best to like shoot and heal. But like, I mean that's not like we can talk about like we were talking about Willow. We were talking about Andrew. We were talking about like the shot. It's like where was the Rom? Is the Rom really this answer that Crimes are looking for into these? Basically a dive comp, right? Like, is that really what Rom does well?
I think I get the idea of it, right? Like coming around to disrupt the dive, but it's not what Rom. They picked him first. Don't forget, like they picked him first. It was Ruckus on one team. They're like, all right, Rom Nando. Any other map, that's totally normal, right? But they just committed really hard to the dive comp with the Andro and Furia with it. You have to see that coming. I think there are ways that Rom can play around that, right? Like, they're going to be fairly clumped once they actually collapse. Rom will be fine for that. Have him actually play a little slower. Did he have subservience? I didn't look at the...
He better
He did. Okay, is that just the talent now?
Yeah, it's just the talent, yeah.
Okay, that's just the only one?
It's the only one. I mean,
understood.
You play
he did. He had 24,000 healing.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's low for Rom, to be honest. Like... I know! It's crazy! The character's good, but I think like we're talking about adaptations as well, but you gotta think about like map. Because certain beach is like the very traditional, there's a flank, there's the map, there's a lane where your flanks go, there's the lane where your main tank goes, and there's the map where the offlane goes. And from the side of Goats, you had the people in the offlane, you had the people in the flank row, and they went around. But they don't have map pick anymore. So you gotta wonder what the map bans are, because I'm kind of curious. Because if you're thinking, okay, this dive thing sucks, I don't want to deal with that. That was awful.
I will say I can keep you posted on map pick. I'm waiting for. Oh, it's a fish market.
It's a frog or ooh. Okay, fish market is interesting because